It was a bright, ordinary day in downtown New York, the kind that makes you believe nothing bad could ever happen. Sunlight dripped down the glass towers, yellow cabs hummed through traffic, and somewhere, beneath all that noise and rhythm, Elena Carter was running late again. She wasn't running from anything, at least not yet. She was just late for a job interview. Elena pushed open the glass door of Cafe Verona, her breath catching at the wave of warmth and espresso scent that wrapped around her. The place was full, laughing couples, clicking spoons, sunlight flickering off wine glasses. Her eyes scanned the room for an empty spot. She was nervous, flustered, clutching a worn brown folder with her resume inside. Her ticket to a simple, quiet life. She didn't notice the looks. She didn't feel the sudden shift in the air when she crossed the threshold. She just wanted a seat. And that's when she saw it. A table by the window, perfectly set, empty, untouched. No one around. She smiled, whispered, "Lucky me," and walked straight to it. But the second she sat down, the entire cafe fell silent. The laughter died. The music skipped. Even the waitress froze, her eyes wide. Somewhere in the corner, a man lowered his newspaper. Another whispered something and stood up. And then, slowly, from the back of the cafe came him. Black suit, dark tie, hands in his pockets. His gaze steady, heavy, unreadable. His name was Dante Moretti. To the world, he was a businessman. But to those who really knew New York's underbelly, he was the man everyone feared to cross. And Elena had just taken his seat. He stopped in front of her table. The tension was suffocating. You could almost hear the espresso dripping behind the counter. "Dante, calm." Deep voice. "You've got guts, sitting here." Elena blinked, confused. I'm sorry, I didn't know it was." Dante, reserved, leans closer. "Everything in this place is reserved." Elena's heart pounded. "I'll move, I'm sorry," she said, reaching for her bag. But Dante raised a hand, and that simple gesture made everyone freeze. "Dante, no, stay." Every eye in the cafe widened. People didn't say no to Dante Moretti. They didn't sit with him. And yet, here she was. Dante studied her face, his expression unreadable. Something about her eyes made him pause, a softness he hadn't seen in years. He motioned to the waitress. "Bring her a coffee," he said quietly. Then, turning back to Elena, "Black or with sugar?" She hesitated. With sugar, please." A faint smile touched his lips. "Sweet. I should have guessed." Elena's fingers trembled around the coffee cup when it arrived. She couldn't understand what was happening, or why this powerful man was staring at her like she'd just interrupted fate itself. Elena softly. "If this is your table, I really didn't mean." Dante interrupting. "Relax. You made a mistake, but sometimes mistakes bring you to the right place." His tone dropped slower, smooth, dangerous, almost kind. Elena didn't know what to say. Something in his eyes told her this wasn't about a table at all. He asked her name. "Elena," she stammered. "Pretty," he murmured. "Not from around here, are you?" She shook her head. "Just moved last month. Trying to find a job." He nodded slowly, tapping his finger on the table. "You believe in luck, Elena?" She blinked, unsure. "Sometimes." "Good," he said with a faint smirk, "because you'll need it." Pete, spoon stirring coffee, the quiet return of background chatter. For a moment, everything felt normal. He asked about her favorite books. She told him she loved mysteries, irony, she thought, given the situation. And he actually laughed. A deep, rare sound that made even his men exchange confused glances. But then, his tone shifted again. Cold. Sharp. "Dante, next time you walk into a place like this, look around first. Not everyone would have let you sit." He leans in closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Some men kill for less." Elena's throat went dry. But before she could respond, he stood up, graceful, deliberate. He turned toward the door, his men following. At the threshold, he paused, glancing back over his shoulder. And with that dark, knowing smile, he said the words that would replay in her mind forever. "Dante, you came to the right place, Angel." Elena didn't understand what had just happened. All she knew was, every instinct screamed at her to run. But her heart whispered something different. As she looked down, she noticed something under her cup. A small black napkin with a single word written in silver ink. "Tomorrow." And that's how it began. A mistake, a table, and a single word that would pull her into a world she was never meant to enter. That night, the city slept. But Elena couldn't. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw him. That face, that smile, that strange, heavy calm in his voice when he called her angel. She told herself it didn't mean anything, just a misunderstanding, a coincidence. But then she remembered the napkin, and that single word written in silver ink, tomorrow. She tried to ignore it. She went to her interview. She smiled. She pretended to be fine. But part of her, a quiet, dangerous part, wanted to know what he meant. By evening, the curiosity became unbearable. As she opened her apartment door, something caught her eye. A black envelope lying on the floor, slipped under the door while she was gone. No name, no return address, just one thing embossed in silver. DM. Her heart stuttered. She knew who that was. Inside, a small black card, heavy and expensive. On it, a handwritten note in elegant cursive. Dinner Verona 8 p.m. Don't say no. Elena stood frozen. Half of her wanted to rip the card and throw it away. The other half couldn't move at all. There was something magnetic about him, something dark, dangerous, and impossible to forget. Against every bit of common sense, she found herself dressing up that night. She chose a simple black dress. Nothing fancy. But when she looked at herself in the mirror, even she could see it, she looked different. Not like the nervous, quiet girl from yesterday, but like someone stepping into a story she didn't understand. When she walked into the cafe again, everything changed. This wasn't the same warm, bustling cafe from yesterday. The lights were dimmer, the laughter gone. Every seat was empty, except one. At the far end of the room, under the golden glow of a single chandelier, sat Dante Moretti. He didn't stand. He didn't smile. He just looked up, like he'd been waiting his whole life for her to arrive. Soft footsteps. The click of heels echoes as she approaches. Dante, right on time. Yelling and nervous. I didn't say I'd come. Dante smirks. You didn't have to. Chair sliding as she sits, heartbeat rising. The waitress arrives instantly, silent, efficient, terrified. Dante doesn't even look at her. He says, bring her whatever she likes. Elena, you don't even know what I like. Dante, sweet, remember? A faint smile. I pay attention. Pause. Music softens. Low violin theme. For a moment, she felt something strange, safe, even. As if behind all that power, there was a man who simply wanted to talk. He asked her about her life, where she grew up, what she dreamed of. She told him she'd always wanted to be a writer. He listened. Really listened. No one had ever listened like that before. But beneath the charm, something dark stirred in his eyes, like he was searching for something. In her. Dante Lowe. Tell me, Elena. Do you believe in destiny? She hesitated. I don't know. Dante. You should. Sometimes the universe doesn't make mistakes. It just moves pieces where they belong. He looks at her intensely. And right now, you're exactly where you're meant to be. Elena, uneasy laugh. You talk like you planned this. Dante. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. He leans back, eyes narrowing slightly. Tell me something. Does anyone know you're here tonight? Elena freezes. What do you mean? Dante. Relax. Just asking. Some people are hard to find unless they want to be found. Elena's pulse quickened. She didn't understand what was happening anymore. Was he testing her? Toying with her? Or protecting her from something she couldn't see? The conversation drifted to small talk again. Food, travel, the world beyond New York. But the air between them was charged, fragile, dangerous. As they finished dinner, Dante stood first. He placed a few bills on the table, then turned to her. Dante quietly. Walk with me. Elena. It's late. Dante. Then I'll make sure you get home safe. Door opens. The faint buzz of the city returns. Outside, the rain had stopped, but the streets still glistened under the streetlights. They walked in silence. And though his presence was intimidating, Elena didn't feel fear. She felt watched guarded. Finally, at the corner of her street, he stopped. Dante, don't come back to Verona for a while. She frowned. Why? Dante after a pause. Let's just say, that seat you took? People notice things they shouldn't. Elena, are you saying I'm in danger? Dante, not yet. Beat, but you could be. He slipped his hand into his coat pocket and pulled out a small, black key. Dante, if anything strange happens, you go to this address. Hands her a card, and you use this key. Elena stared at it, confused. What is this? He looked straight into her eyes. Dante, a way out. He steps closer, his voice low, almost a whisper. And remember something, Elena. Sometimes sitting at the wrong table is the only way to find the right people. He turned and walked away, his figure swallowed by the fog and the streetlights. Elena stood there, clutching the key and the card, heart pounding so loud she could barely breathe. Part of her wanted to throw them away. The other part couldn't let go. She whispered to herself, "What are you, Dante Moretti?" And from somewhere in the shadows, though she didn't know it, someone was watching her. A figure in a dark coat. A voice murmuring into an earpiece. The girl's been marked. He made contact. And that's how innocence began to fade. One dinner. One secret. And a key that opened far more than just a door. They say curiosity is a dangerous thing. For Elena Carter, it became a trap she couldn't escape. Days passed since the dinner with Dante Moretti. She told herself it was over, that she'd never see him again. But then why did she keep the key? Why did she keep hearing his voice, replaying those words in her mind? Sometimes, sitting at the wrong table is the only way to find the right people. Faint thunder. Pages flipping. It was a quiet Thursday when everything changed again. Elena sat by her window, writing in her old notebook, trying to distract herself. But something felt off. A strange car had been parked outside her building all morning. Same one. Same spot. Her chest tightened. She tried to ignore it, until she noticed the reflection in the window. A man. Standing across the street. Watching her apartment. Low heartbeat sound. Tension builds. She froze. Her phone buzzed on the table, an unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. Elena whispering. Hello? Voice low, steady, familiar. You didn't throw the key away. Good. Elena shocked. Dante? How did you? Dante. You're being watched. Don't turn around. Pack a bag. Now. Frantic footsteps. Heartbeat intensifies. Elena. What's happening? Who are they? Dante. Enemies. Not mine, not yet. But they think you're someone else. Elena. Someone else? Dante after a pause. Just trust me, Angel. I'll explain everything when you're safe. Drawer closing, bag zipping, hurried movements. Her pulse thundered in her ears as she grabbed whatever she could, jacket, phone, the black key. When she reached the door, she hesitated. Where do I go? She whispered. Dante threw the phone. There's a black car outside in 10 seconds. Get in. Don't talk. Don't look back. Sharp string rise, thunder rolls. She hesitated for only a heartbeat. Then ran. Car doors slamming, tires screeching on wet asphalt. The car sped through the rain-soaked streets. The driver never spoke, only nodded when she looked his way. Elena's hands shook in her lap as she clutched the key Dante had given her. Finally, the car slowed in front of a tall iron gate. Beyond it stood a massive mansion, dark, quiet, surrounded by shadows. The driver got out, opened her door, and motioned for her to enter. The moment she stepped inside, she felt it. Power. Silence. Danger. Every inch of the place whispered stories she wasn't supposed to hear. At the far end of the hall, Dante stood waiting, black shirt, sleeves rolled, eyes colder than before. Dante, you made it. Elena, you said you'd explain. What's going on? Why was I being followed? Dante quietly. Because someone thinks you're your mother. Pause. A tense silence. Elena confused. My mother? You must be mistaken. My mother's been dead for years. Dante steps closer. Her name was Clara Rivers, wasn't it? Elena's blood ran cold. No one knew that name. Not even her closest friends. Elena shaking. How do you know that name? Beat of silence. Dante. Because once I loved her. And then she betrayed me. Soft piano shifts to a darker tone. Elena's world tilted. The room felt smaller, colder. Every word from him sounded impossible, and yet, the way he said it, the look in his eyes, he wasn't lying. Elena, you're saying my mother knew you? Dante, she didn't just know me. She worked for me. Slow footsteps echoing as he walks toward the fireplace. Dante grimly, 20 years ago, she was one of my most trusted people. Smart, beautiful, dangerous. Until she sold me out to the FBI. Beat. Silence. Fire crackles faintly. Dante. Because of her, my brother died. Because of her, I lost everything. He turns, eyes burning. And then she disappeared with something that belonged to me. Elena barely a whisper. What did she take? Dante. A ledger. Names. Accounts. Everything that could destroy the Moretti Empire. Slow, heavy breath. Dante low. And now, suddenly, her daughter walks into my life, sits at my table, with her mother's eyes. Elena, you think I'm part of this? You think I came here on purpose? Dante, I think fate is cruel, Angel. And I think fate brought you back to finish what she started. He steps closer. His shadow falls across her face. Elena tearfully. I didn't even know her secret life. She died when I was 6. Dante studying her. Maybe. Or maybe she just wanted you far from my world. Until it was time. Long pause. The ticking of a clock echoes in the silence. Elena's mind spun in chaos. Her mother, a spy? A traitor? A lover of the man now standing before her? Nothing made sense. But before she could speak, a sudden crash shattered the silence. Door bursts open, men shouting in Italian, gun cocking. Guard, boss, they found us. Dante spun around, eyes blazing. Dante snarling. Get her to the cellar. Now. Gunfire erupts, glass shattering, wood splintering. Elena screams as one of the guards grabs her arm, pulling her toward a hidden door behind the shelves. They rush down a narrow staircase, the air thick with dust and fear. The cellar was dark, lined with old barrels and crates. The guards shut the door behind them, locking it tight. Elena panicked. What's happening? Who are they? Guard gritting teeth. The ones your mother ran from. Above them, chaos. Below, silence. And in that suffocating darkness, Elena realized something terrifying. Her mother's past wasn't dead. It had just been waiting for her. Dante. Elena. It's me. He appears in the doorway, breathing hard, blood on his sleeve. Elena whispering. Are you okay? Dante. We're leaving. Now. He unlocks a steel door at the end of the cellar. Wind and rain rush in. Elena. Where are we going? Dante grimly. Somewhere they can't find you. Elena. Who can't? He stops, looks at her. Eyes cold, haunted. Dante. The same people who killed your mother. That night, under the storm, the truth began to unravel. And Elena Carter finally understood. She hadn't just sat at the wrong table. She had sat at the heart of a war that began before she was even born. The storm had followed them all night. Rain slammed against the windshield as Dante's black car tore through the countryside, far from New York, far from anyone who could find them. Elena sat in the passenger seat, drenched in fear and confusion. Her reflection in the glass looked like a stranger, pale, wide-eyed, trembling. Elena quietly. You said they killed my mother. Who? Are they? Dante eyes on the road. People who wanted what she stole. People who never forgive. Elena. Then why come after me? I didn't even know her secret. Dante. You carry her name. Her blood. That's enough. Windshield wipers swishing. Tension builds in the music, slow, brooding strings. Every word from him sliced deeper. She wanted to scream that this wasn't her fight, but something in his voice stopped her. Something almost protective. Finally, the car slowed before an old stone mansion hidden behind ivy and fog. The kind of place that felt like it had seen too many ghosts. Dante. Get inside. We'll talk there. Heavy door opening, thunder echoing in the distance. Inside, the air was thick with silence. The walls were lined with portraits, stern faces, sharp suits, all bearing the same piercing eyes as Dante. The Moretti legacy, built on power, protected by fear, and now invaded by one young woman's mistake. Dante poured himself a drink, then turned toward her. Dante, your mother's story started long before you were born. She wasn't just anyone. She was part of this family, my family. Elena shocked. What do you mean, part of your family? Dante. She worked for my brother first. Matteo. He trusted her, loved her maybe. But she was smart, too smart. She found out what we were really doing, and when Matteo was killed in an ambush, she blamed me. The glass clicks against the counter. Dante gritted teeth. She stole everything, the names, the accounts, the proof of who ordered his death. And she ran. Elena softly. And you think she was right? Silence. Dante. She wasn't wrong. Low rumble of thunder. Piano note sustains in the background. For the first time, she saw something human in him, guilt. The great Dante Moretti, the man the city feared, looked broken. He set the drink down, staring into the fire. Dante. I told myself I'd find her, punish her, make her pay. But when I heard she died, it didn't feel like revenge. It felt like losing something I never deserved to keep. Dante. And now you're here, her daughter. Her eyes. Her voice. It's like she's haunting me through you. Soft emotional piano swells. Elena's voice trembles. Elena, maybe she didn't betray you. Maybe she was trying to stop something worse. Dante, you don't know what this world is, Angel. There's no worse. There's only power, and the ones who pay the price for it. Pause. Then, a distant knock echoes through the halls. Elena startled. What was that? Dante tenses. Stay here. Footsteps echoing away, door creaks open. She waited. Seconds turned into minutes. Then she heard it, voices. Sharp, angry, familiar. She crept toward the corridor, pressing herself against the wall. Voice whispering. Boss, we can't keep her here. The council's watching. If they find out, Dante, let them. She stays under my protection. Guard. You're risking everything for a girl who might be her daughter. You know what that means. A pause, tension builds. Dante coldly. I know exactly what it means. Gun being cocked. The guard's breath catches. Dante lower. It means anyone who touches her dies. Thunder crashes. Elena covers her mouth, trembling. He wasn't just protecting her. He was declaring war on his own people. She ran back to the sitting room, heart pounding, but before she could breathe, glass shatters. A bullet tore through the window, inches from her head. She screamed, ducking behind the couch. Dante shouting from the hall. Elena! Down! Gunfire erupts. Echoing chaos. Boots running on marble. Men in black stormed the room, faces masked, guns blazing. Dante grabbed her, pulling her behind a pillar. Dante shouting. They found us. Move! Elena. Who are they? Dante. The council. My father's old men. They think you have the ledger. Elena panicked. I don't even know what that is. Explosion, smoke and debris fill the air. They stumble into a corridor. The mansion was burning. Every corner filled with fire, betrayal, and the sound of Dante's empire crumbling. They reached the back door, but as Dante turned to cover her escape, one of his men appeared in the shadows. Marco calmly. Boss, don't make me do this. Dante cold. You already have. Gunshot. Silence. Marco collapses. For a brief moment, Dante just stood there, staring at the body of the man who'd been his right hand for 10 years. No emotion. No hesitation. Only the echo of loyalty turned to ash. Dante breathing heavily. We have to go. Now. Doors burst open, rain pours in. Tires screech. They run through the storm, toward another car hidden beyond the trees. Elena slips on the mud, gasping for air, tears mixing with rain. Elena crying. Why is this happening to me? Dante grabbing her shoulders. Because you were never just an accident, Elena. Elena shocked. What did you say? Dante low, trembling. Your mother didn't just run from me. She ran with my child. Silence. Rain stops for a heartbeat. Elena whispering. No, you're lying. Dante voice cracking. I wish I was. Long pause. The sound of rain returns, softer this time. The truth hit her harder than any bullet. The man she feared was the man who might be her father. Deep inhale, thunder rolls gently in the distance. Elena in disbelief. You knew all along? Dante. Not until you said her name. When I saw your eyes, I couldn't be sure. But now I am. Elena sobbing. Everything you've done, was it guilt? Or love? Dante hoarse whisper. Music swells, heavy emotional orchestral strings. Before she could speak, headlights flared from the road behind them, more cars, more men. No time for truth. No time for healing. Only survival. Dante pushed her toward the car. Dante. Get in. Gunfire again, glass shattering. Tires squeal as the car speeds off into the rain. The world around them blurred into chaos, fire, thunder, and betrayal. The truth had set her free, but now it might kill them both. Fade slowly, replaced by the soft hum of the car engine. Elena whispering. What happens now? Dante quiet, broken. Now we find out if blood is thicker than loyalty. They drove for hours through the storm, two souls bound by blood, running from the past that refused to die. The city lights had faded long ago. Only silence kept them company now. Elena sat in the back seat, staring out the window, lost in the blur of trees and fog. Every breath she took felt heavier, like the truth itself was pressing down on her chest. Elena whispering. So it's true. I'm your daughter. Silence. Dante from the driver's seat, low. I didn't know not until that night. But once I did, I couldn't let them touch you. Not again. His voice was quiet, but his eyes told another story, years of guilt, buried beneath stone. He'd been a monster to everyone else. But to her, he was trying to be something more. Soft emotional piano builds in the background. Elena. What happens if they find us? Dante. They won't. Not tonight. Elena frowning. You said that before. At the mansion. And they almost killed us. Dante tight grip on the wheel. This time, I'm ready. Tires crunching gravel. The car stops. They had reached an old chapel, half ruined, sitting on a cliff overlooking the stormy ocean. A place that looked forgotten but felt like destiny had been waiting there all along. Dante stepped out first, scanning the horizon, hand on his gun. Elena followed slowly, clutching her coat against the cold. Elena. Why here? Dante. Your mother once brought me here, years ago. She said if anything ever went wrong, we'd meet again at the right place. And now, at the edge of everything, her words had come true. Sound. Soft thunder roll. Footsteps echo inside the chapel. They entered, candles flickering from a corner, like someone had been there just minutes before. A faint warmth lingered in the air. Then, a voice. You made it, Dante. Elena gasps. A man steps from the shadows, suited, silver hair slicked back, calm and deadly. It was Vincent Moretti, Dante's father. The man who built the empire and ordered its blood to be cleansed. Vincent, you should have let her die, son. Now you've doomed us all. Dante coldly. I won't let you touch her. Vincent, you think you can protect her? After what you did to Matteo? Elena steps forward. Elena angrily. He killed his brother because of you. You made him a monster. Vincent smirking. You sound just like your mother. She said the same thing right before I pulled the trigger. Beat, silence. Then a faint gasp escapes Dante's lips. Dante stunned. You killed her? Vincent cold. She betrayed us. She took what wasn't hers. I ended it before she could destroy the family. Music shifts, slow, haunting violin. The truth broke something inside Dante. Every scar, every sin, every sleepless night, all led to this. He raised his gun, hands trembling. Dante hoarse whisper. Then this ends with you. Gunshot echoes, but not from Dante. Elena screamed. Dante stumbled back, clutching his shoulder, smoke rising from Vincent's gun. Vincent. You were always too weak to lead. Now your mistake dies with you. Sound. Vincent cocks his gun again, but Elena steps in front of Dante. Elena crying. You'll have to kill me too. Thunder cracks violently. Rain slams the windows. The world shakes. Vincent calmly. So be it. Gunshot, echo fades. Silence. The shot rang out through the chapel. But when the smoke cleared, it wasn't Elena who fell. Sound. Body collapsing to the ground. Vincent's eyes went wide, a red bloom spreading across his chest. Behind him, one of Dante's loyal men stood, gun still raised, hand shaking. Bodyguard hoarse whisper. For Matteo, for the family, I couldn't let him do it. Vincent collapses. Dante falls to his knees beside him. Dante softly. Even monsters die like men. Music slows, somber piano and wind. The storm outside began to ease. Rain turned to mist. The night that started in blood was finally quiet. Elena knelt beside Dante, pressing against his wound. Elena crying. You're bleeding. Stay with me. Dante weak laugh. You've got her spirit. She'd be proud of you, angel. Me. Elena. Don't say that. Don't you dare leave me. Dante. You sat at the wrong table. But maybe it was always the right place after all. His voice fades. A long silence. The rain stops. When the sun rose, the chapel stood silent. The storm had taken everything, but left her one thing no one could steal. The truth. Soft piano swells with emotion. In that moment, Elena realized, sometimes, fate doesn't choose the easy path. It chooses the one that hurts. So we can finally see who we are. Sound. Seagulls faintly calling. Morning light filters through broken glass. She walked out onto the cliff, wind brushing her hair, clutching Dante's pendant in her hand. Elena voiceover. He wasn't just a mafia boss. He was a man trying to rewrite his sins, one last time. Pause, soft inhale. Elena. And maybe, just maybe, I did come to the right place after all.